What's up, YouTube? This is Talking Crazy 88. Back again with another podcast for you. Oh, yeah. Those of y'all remember back in the day during football, the NFL season. I used to like this thing. That was on NFL on NBC. All right, gang, let me just go ahead and slow this down. All right. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. About to head on out, but I needed to do a podcast. I had some free time on my hands, and decided, well, let me go ahead and do a podcast for now while I'm making my coffee. Ooh, I gotta stop. I bought a pack of coffee from Stop and Shop. Let me see if it's brewing. Yeah, it's heating up. Hazelnut coffee with cream and sugar. You know, I just saved myself $2 from Starbucks. Those of y'all who know I'm a big Starbucks fan, but I got to start cutting back. You know, we got a new president that's in office, President Trump, and everybody's under nigger outrage because he got into office. Well, I predicted it was going to happen, unfortunately. It's one of those predictions that, you know, I wish I was wrong, but it is what it is. There's nothing really much anybody can do about it. You know, you can just go ahead and act like a fucking fool and go out and protest, which serves really no purpose. You know, they're just gonna look at you and just start laughing. Look at these little humanoids running around. That's so cute with their signs that says, "Trump is not my president." Well, unfortunately, half the country disagrees with you, and half the country spoke. They wanted a president. They wanted a man like Donald Trump, who's not even a successful businessman. He didn't go out of business. He didn't go bankrupt. I mean, people like to talk about, you know, how he filed bankruptcy 5 times. That's probably how he got his wealth. He screwed people out of his money. That's what bankruptcy is. You're screwing people out of your money. So the next time when you file Chapter 7, because I've done it and I didn't feel too good about it, and it was during the time when I was with that punk ass bitch, who I was dating, who I was taking care of, but that didn't work out, and I learned a valuable lesson after it. Never take care of it. Don't turn a hoe into a housewife. You just don't do that. But I'm not going to dwell on the past because that happened years ago. And that's another thing, people. We got to stop dwelling on the past. We got to start, because now that Trump is in office, you got the white supremacists celebrating, like they won something. Like these farmers out in the middle of nowhere. The white trash, the honky white trash, filthy states of Wisconsin, Michigan, Texas, Utah, Western Pennsylvania, all those states where there's predominantly white trash, hillbilly, Billy honkies. They voted this guy in. These are poor white trash, poor white hillbillies. I don't know if you ever actually drove through these towns, and believe me, these people have nothing to live for. But we spend focusing our time with the people that are in major cities. That's why there were so many anti-Trump protests of white women who are outraged that this man is in office. Well, you didn't do anything productive in preventing him from getting into office. But that's what I deem. But you spend an inordinate amount of time trying to shut down Nate Parker, and you got your sister, the black feminists, the so-called black feminists, spent a lot of time on Nate Parker in this movie. You need to go out and see it, people. I need to go out and see it. But from what I heard, well, they never showed any scenes of Nat Turner killing any white people. You know, they just saw it was about a movie about another slave that revolted and got captured again and killed. That's what that story is really all about, succinctly. But, you know, the useless black feminists is running around shutting him down, but they didn't have the courage to shut down Donald Trump, you know. And here lies the purpose of this podcast, because we're definitely going to be in a time where we're going to be all alone. We're going to be by ourselves, people. Nobody's going to help black people. I'm telling you right now, if you think Donald Trump is out to help black people, you think again. He don't give a fuck about black people. He don't give a fuck about the farmers out in the middle of Wisconsin. The poor white trash. You know, the poor white trash in these filthy, honky, white trash states that elected him in. Okay? But now, black folks, it's time to start circling our wagons. It's time to start gaining information. It's time to start having black self-respect. Okay? Because we don't have it, people. We don't have self-respect. We don't have dignity. We don't have pride in each other. We do everything we can to tear each other down, as indicated by the Nate Parker situation. You know, you had black women standing up for a white woman that killed herself. Okay? Who had problems well before she even met Nate Parker. The bitch tried to kill herself a couple of times before she enrolled at Penn State. Okay? Y'all didn't know that this woman had issues. This woman has severe mental issues. All right? So it wasn't because of that sexual encounter with Nate Parker and his friend, his buddy, who also got acquitted as well after an appeal process. Now, I've been going on for 10 minutes about on and rambling. So I'm just going to go ahead and get to the point because I got things to do, people. Okay, I got to start preparing. I got to start preparing for my future, people, as a black man in this country. Things are going to change. And when January 21st come along, things are going to change. I don't think, and all of y'all that's in the nigger outrage that this guy is going to be elected, you also got to remember, people, that this guy, this loser, Donald Trump, spent about almost $1 billion of his own money to finance his campaign. Now, you think this motherfucker is going to lose? Hell, fuck no. But he didn't take any money. Well, he claims he never took any money from special interest groups and all that. He claims that he did. He never did that. Well, all that just means that he just left himself open to be an open target. So, whether through assassination or impeachment, I think more impeachment is going to happen. He will be impeached. He will do something stupid to impeach himself. Trust and believe. He's not an attorney. Didn't go to law school, went to business school. He surrounded himself with lawyers, which he has to pay out of pocket. Or on your dime, people. And he's backtracking on that Obamacare. He's not going to repeal it. You know, you know what that tells me? That tells me that it wasn't the affordable, I'm going to call it by the correct name, the Affordable Care Act, which is in place. It was in place for a reason, people. A lot of these legislations that come up and get passed through are there for a reason. All right? They're not going to repeal it. Because Congress, the same Congress and Senate that was there when Obama was in office, is still in office to this day, people. It's still there. So you think they're going to overturn Obamacare without a veto, without Congress vetoing it? You know, there's a thing called checks and balances, which which I don't really blame y'all because y'all didn't stay awake in American history, in your American history course in high school. You never took political science in college. So a lot of civics, the civics, political science, is kind of left on your own to learn, for the people to learn. And that's why black folks, we are so unsophisticated in politics. You think just by drawing up a sign and organizing 500 idiots to march in the highway shouting, "Trump is not our president." No, that's not going to work. But see, that's the misconception that black folks are doing this. It's not black folks that are leading these protests. It's white people. It's white people going out in the streets protesting it. So don't be fooled by that. Black folks, we just have to go ahead and start circling our wagons. The same shit that we've been doing for the last 40 years is going to have to stop. Okay? We're going to have to cut that shit out. So I devised a tenet, a few tenets, well, actually 13 tenets of black folks need to start having self-respect. You know, it's called Black Self-Respect. That's what the title of this podcast is. The Making of Black Self-Respect. All right? And I put down rule number 1. Black folks need to stop loving and fearing white people. Now's not the time to be scared of white people. Now's not the time to be scared that Trump is in office. Okay? You wasn't scared when Obama was in office. You wasn't scared when Reagan was in the office. Clinton was in office. And some of y'all old timers, y'all wasn't even scared when President Carter was in office. But right now, Trump is in office, and everybody's in a nigger outrage. That's right. I'm putting on my Barack Obama impression. Everybody's scared. Black people scared. White people scared. White women are scared. Y'all shouldn't be scared. You should have had Pookie and Ray Ray out there voting. You should have waked them up and said, "Get to the polls." But y'all didn't do that. So, y'all got to stop loving and fearing white people. They ain't nobody to be scared of. All right? Because now these white supremacists are going to be emboldened to call you openly a nigger or pickaninny or coon or whatever. All these racial epithets that we call each other, but they're going to be openly calling us that. So I just want y'all to be prepared and stop being scared. Stop being scared bunny rabbits, you know. What's there to be scared of? You know, if you're not prepared for anything, yeah, you're going to be scared. If you're not prepared, you're going to be scared. But you knew this was going to happen. You knew this was going to be a possible outcome, that this man is going to be president. So, and you didn't do anything to prepare yourself for it. You didn't prepare your money, you didn't prepare your job, you didn't prepare your passports, you didn't prepare getting medical insurance. You sat on your fat asses and did nothing except go to the polls if you were eligible to vote. So don't get scared now. Don't get scared of these white people now. We're outnumbered. We're surrounded. We're outnumbered. But we up here wanting to sleep with them and love them and reason with them. Well, no. You treat them more respectful than your own people. So that's going to have to stop. Okay? You're going to have to cut that shit out. Now, rule number 2 of black self-respect: stop fighting with other black folks, including name calling. Now, in my earlier podcast, I had said some disparaging things about brother Ken Thompson. Now, I did some research on his legacy and what he's done for black folks. He's done a lot for black people in New York City, especially in Brooklyn, by not prosecuting low-level marijuana cases where police were hemming up black folks on the stop and frisk, and they get caught with some weed, and they get sent into the system to be prosecuted and convicted, where they're no longer eligible for federal funding because they have a drug conviction on their record. Okay? He wouldn't prosecute them. He wouldn't prosecute these cases. You know, if it comes before him, the charges are dropped, dismissed. Okay? That's what Ken Thompson did for black folks, okay? That's one of the few things that he's done. Another thing he's done, he defended a black woman who happened to be a cleaning woman that was sexually assaulted by Dominique Strauss-Kahn. You know, the head of one of the board of directors of the IMF. He sexually assaulted a black woman. I mean, a chambermaid in the hotel in New York City. Okay? So he actually was her counsel, defending a black woman. So I'm publicly going to apologize to the family who probably heard that podcast, or some of the friends and family that heard that podcast, because I also talked to people who were close to Ken Thompson, who knew Ken Thompson, who met and knew Ken Thompson. I ain't gonna tell you who they are because that ain't none of your fucking business. But he was definitely a good man, and he had his reasons for suggesting not having Peter Liang be sent to prison. Because you guys are gonna also understand, internally, police officers in New York City, they're never gonna get sent to prison. It's an unwritten rule that they're not gonna be sent to prison by a state prosecutor. It would have to be a federal prosecutor. So I want y'all to keep that in mind whenever y'all start marching and doing all this shit to bring charges on police officers that shoot unarmed people. I want y'all to keep that in mind. So we got to stop calling each other names. We got to stop calling each other coons. We got to start calling black women bitches and hoes, and when they're not bitches and hoes, and we got to cut that shit out. We got to stop fighting with each other on the internet. Okay? We got to stop with these beefs, these internet beefs, with these YouTube beefs, especially with Tommy Sotomayor, because you guys got to remember that these coons, he is a full-fledged coon. All right? But he shouldn't really be taken seriously. I don't take him seriously because he's living with white people. He's talking about black problems, black issues in front of white people. You also got to remember that when he does his commentary on these news reports that y'all send to him to comment on a black bitch broke into a hair salon and broke into a hair supply store and stole about $500 worth of weave. Y'all gotta cut. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all don't. I'm not gonna take that seriously. Why the fuck would I waste my time on listening to watching a story like that, and listening to some fool making commentary about black bitches on something stupid? Because this shit is stupid. You know it's stupid, but you guys got to remember why the news outlets put these stories out. It's really to clown black people and make white people feel good about themselves. That's all it is. It feeds into that propaganda. Because you guys got to remember, there's crime going on all the time in your community. But why is it that they picked this story out of many other 500, out of all the crime that's in the area, in the New York City area? Why would they air this story? Okay? You guys got to ask yourself that question, people. So fighting with Tommy Sotomayor is counterproductive. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your valuable time. It's a waste of your life when you could be doing something constructive, like making money, like circling your wagons, making money, or doing something productive in your community. Now, rule number 3, no sex with white people. See, I'm a big advocate of that. I mean, I have to clarify on my interracial dating videos. I'm not saying it's okay, but any other race, I'm okay. I'm cool with. I'm cool with black folks dating Spics. I'm cool with black folks dating Chinks and Gooks, Hindus, because they are brown people. All right? They may not like to say that they're brown people or black people. They like I don't know what it is, but they want to be white. Black and brown people want to be white. I have no desire to be an albinoid, an evil albinoid. I have no desire to be a person that has recessive genes. Okay? I have no desire to be one of them. I like being black. I don't mind being black. I want to be married to a black woman if I ever choose to get married. If I ever were to decide that, it's time for me to get married, probably when I'm turned 77 years old. But I don't see myself getting married. But if I were to get married, it would be to a black woman. Okay? And if I choose to have children with that black woman, I will have black kids, black children. Now, let me go back to the fighting with other black people instead of name calling as well. I also got to publicly apologize to President Barack Obama for calling him a half-breed monkey. Now, we also got to stop calling black folk half-breeds, half-breeds. We got to stop calling them names, man. Because that's like arguing who's on top of the slave ship. We're still on the slave ship, people. White people don't see us any better or worse, whether you're lighter than me or look damn near white. As long as you're not white, you're not accepted. That's why do you think those white people out in England is in a nigger outrage? Because I think Prince Harry is dating a half-breed. A black woman that is biracial. They're in a nigga outrage. A black woman that has a white parent. They're out in the nigga outrage. Because Prince Harry might marry this woman and bring some color into the Buckingham Palace. Might have some quarter babies. But I don't agree, but this is the result of having sex with white people. You're going to turn out with confused offspring who don't know whether they're white or black, who want to decide to be black. And then we got black people saying they're not black. They're half-breeds and this, that, and the other. Well, that's up for y'all to decide. The half-breeds out there, that's up to you to decide. But it's apparent that Barack Obama made his choice of being black. He recognized that he was a black man, and he's married to a black woman, and never had any scandals within the house in the White House where he was cheating on Michelle and leering at other women and hitting on other women. I haven't heard any stories about that, so I have to publicly apologize to them for that aspect. But everything else, what I said was what I meant it. What I said that Barack Obama didn't do shit for black people, which he didn't. But fuck it. It is what it is. 2 months from now, he'll be out of office, and then we got a psychotic that's going to be sworn in as president. So no sex with white people because it causes confusion. And I saw a video where a white man who happens to be a Trump supporter was using the word nigger and saying that black folks need to go back to Africa and dig up diamonds, and President Obama is part of the legitimize the Black Lives movement, which isn't true. But hey, man, this white motherfucker this white nigger was chimping out. Was chimping out, people. And you guys got to recognize that this is why you can't be afraid of these chimps. You can't be afraid of a white man or a white woman chimping out like this. And I'll get to that in a minute. So no sex with white people until the system of white supremacy is dismantled. No sex with them. But I'm going to do a podcast on that. A follow-up podcast on rule number 4. Rule number 5. Excuse me. Rule number 3. That's rule number 3. No sex with white people. Rule number 4. If you get called a nigger by a white person, make sure you record it, and then knock their teeth out, or pepper spray them, or taser them. See, black folks, you can't reason with somebody that who is belligerent. To me, when a white person calls me a nigger because I've done something to them or interrupted their day or did something that they didn't like, they want to fight. Those are fighting words to me. People might say, oh, nigger is just a word. No. I have never heard the word nigger that comes out of a white person's mouth that's in the positive manner. And as black folks, well, we use the word too, but we use it in almost similar, but almost the same. We're hostile to each other when we use that word nigger. We are hostile. I'm not going to lie to you. But as black folks, we got to cut that shit out as well. Because everybody's watching us. We can't get upset when we get called a nigger or in hostility, but we do it to ourselves in hostility. Now, you may say, take it for what it is, that I'm cooning and whatever, I'm going to be on the coon train, whatever. But That's one of the things we got to stop doing. We got to get that out of our vocabulary. All right? But as far as being approached by a white person, y'all don't get scared. Don't get scared. Don't be afraid. Don't be frightened. And don't reason with them, because they're not there to reason with you. They're there to hurt you. They want you to fight. Or they want you to fight, or they're trying to bait you into a fight so you can get arrested and thrown in jail. That would make their day. But knocking their teeth out would definitely be a way of having black self-respect, because if enough of us do it, they won't do it anymore, because they're going to get tired of getting their teeth knocked out. Or you get tired of getting pepper sprayed or tased because, you happen to call them a nigger over some nonsense. Rule number 5, stand up for another black person when confronted with white supremacy. Because a lot of us, including myself, are guilty of that. But I'm not gonna stand by and allow someone to get called a nigger or being overly hostile to another person. I will stand right behind that black person if they're being confronted by a white evil albinoid, as Cynthia G calls them, or I call them mutants. If you get confronted by a mutant, I'm not gonna stand there and let you, get called a nigger. I will call that mutant a nigger, a white nigger, and dare him to do something. Nine times out of 10, they won't do anything. But just in case, you got to have your knife ready. You got to have your guns ready. You got to have your pepper spray or taser ready. You got to be ready at all times, because this is going to be outright war, people. We're in the Fourth Reich, baby. We got a guy that's in there that's going to turn America into Nazism. So I hope you got your passports together. I have my passport together because I'm ready to get the fuck up out of here. So don't let anybody let anybody who's white, roll up on you and act like they're gonna fight. You stand up for your brother. You stand up for your fellow black man and black woman. All right. Rule number 6. Black women, you got to retire that black feminism. Y'all spend a lot of energy on Nate Parker. Came out with a film. It did okay as far as being an independent film, but y'all really took the lead in saying it only made $8 million in this first week. That was a bust. And I've seen a lot of these black feminists get wet when you start seeing another black man fail. That's against the code, man. That's against the code. You women out there that didn't support this brother, but you went out in drones to support the Madea movie called Boo. All right? A stupid-ass movie. Another Tyler Perry stupid-ass movie. But I support him as well as I support Nate Parker. Okay? I'm not going to go on YouTube or national media denigrating another black man for his accomplishment. He did a lot more than me. All right? And that's why I apologize to Ken Thompson and his people, and his family, because Ken Thompson has done a lot fighting against white supremacy than I ever did, sitting with a microphone in my hand and a recorder. He's done more than me, so I can't say anything. Put his record up against mine and I'll lose. Okay? Put my record up of filmmaking against Nate Parker or Tyler Perry, and I'm going to lose, because they've done more than me. But to see black feminists running around celebrating that this guy failed. And a lot of you on YouTube, a lot of you black bitches on YouTube have done it. Now, I promise that I wouldn't call black women black bitches, but this is what they are. These are black bitches that have a self-esteem issue, and they need to really clean that up. They need to see a therapist. They need to see somebody. They need to talk to somebody because they haven't run into a guy like me that's going to speak the real to them, like I'm doing right now. But black feminism, y'all got to cut that shit out. Because what feminism really is anti-black male. Okay? White feminism is anti-black male. Go back about a couple of years ago when the white woman was walking through the streets of New York and they put together a video of all these black and Hispanic men hitting on this ugly white woman walking down the street. Which made no sense. Which really what that was all about is really putting in place a measure of legislation of her anti-harassment of women walking down the street. Well, really, it's really white women, but black men, but it's really targeted to black men because we're always in the system. They have no problem locking us up, people. So what that really is that black feminism is useless to the black community. Because I didn't see y'all go after Donald Trump, who miraculously got elected. Because if you cared about womanhood and feminism and womanhood and all that bullshit, Hillary Clinton would have been elected president as of right now. So cut that. So stop the bullshit. That's another group nobody should really take seriously, other than coons. Rule number 7 of black self-respect: stop calling the police on another black person unless a crime is actually committed. Now, this could be a little bit vague, and it really depends on your morality. But when I say this, I mean frivolous crimes. You get into an argument with your woman or your man, and you call the police, and you bring the police involved. It can get ugly. Okay? So my advice to you is that anytime you call the police, expect something bad is going to happen. Whether that brother or sister that black man or black woman is going to be arrested and have a criminal record. Now, what I mean by using the police for real serious crimes where somebody got stabbed, somebody got shot, stabbed, raped, whatever, assaulted, by all means, call the police. Because that nigga needs to be off the street. And that's what 911 is really meant to be used for. Not for bullshit. Not for calling the police on some bullshit. Okay? So, rule number 8. Stop with all the debating. This leads to fights. Come together and share ideas instead. You know how many hours wasted where two black folks sit around just debating on bullshit and then end up in a fight because they think one person think they're right in their you know. Y'all spend an inordinate amount of time trying to debate with Tommy Sotomayor. This is common. When you come to their channel and do a one-on-one and debate and have a discussion and debate with him and what's right, because he's always going to change the narrative. Whenever you're debating somebody on their own platform, they can always change the narrative. they can use metaphors and try to confuse you. That's what Tommy Sotomayor does. He uses a lot of analogy and metaphors, which was designed, which is pretty much white supremacist talking point. Sorry about that, gang. I had a phone call to take, but where was I? I was like, yeah, I was talking about debating. Start with the debating. I mean, we spend a lot of time online debating with niggas that you never even seen before, and then you get upset, and then you want to fight with somebody that's 500 miles away. Y'all up here running around calling each other names and this, that, and the other, and cooking and do this, that, and the other. There's no reason why anybody should be debating. Okay? It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your energy. Now, if you're not coming together for anything constructive, like sharing ideas or thoughts of ideas and this, that, and the other. For instance, I had listened to Karen Hunter, the Karen Hunter Show, who used to be a reporter at Daily News and had her own radio talk show here in the New York City area. Now she's on XM Satellite. Now, she talked about the Trump presidency and how black folks can move on forward instead of sitting around bitching and moaning and complaining and, chimping out and having a nigger outrage because this man is in office. Well, there is something we can do about it, and that's what Karen Hunter is doing. She put together an app called the Party of Lincoln, which will educate more black folks on being civic-minded, learning about how to run for office, how to register to vote, how to change your party affiliation, have the Constitution on there. It's a real neat app, man. I like it. I downloaded it, and I'm using it to my advantage, baby. And I encourage y'all to go ahead and do that too if you choose to stay in this country and learn the ins and outs, learn how to be more politically sophisticated. All right? But she also talks about empowerment by having guests on from black businesses, black banks. She had this one business owner that, everybody should have been taking notes when she was speaking. Okay? So that's why I don't really go on debates. I don't debate with people. I don't really give a fuck about debating. I'm not here to be right or wrong or whatever. I don't care. What are you doing? See, I was at the bar the other day watching the New Orleans Saints game, and I ran into a brother that was from New Orleans who moved up to New York 10 years ago, and now he owns a nightclub down in Manhattan. And all we was doing was just talking about politics and economics and business and everything. And he was just telling me his story, how he moved up to New York. He said, he was in New Orleans, got the fuck out of there. Because let me tell you something, New Orleans is, I like New Orleans, love New Orleans. Great place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. Because there's too many poverty-minded niggers. That, you're surrounded by poverty-minded niggers. That's pretty much what, from one end of New Orleans to the other end of New Orleans is just one big-ass slum. Now, if there wasn't any tourism, New Orleans would be a slum. New Orleans would be like Mount Vernon, New York. Just one big-ass slum. Okay? So I don't give a fuck if y'all don't like it. Don't give a fuck. But it was designed, you got to remember, it's designed that way. Certain areas in this country is designed to be good areas. Some areas in this country is designed to be middle class, and the other areas designed to be poor. Okay? Where people have no hope. That's why motherfuckers love talking about Chicago, because, in certain areas of Chicago, black folks have no hope. They have no hope or change because the neighborhood has been the same for the last 40 years. No hope, no change. So, if you're coming together to change and be productive and do something constructive, because that's the only reason why black folks should really come together unless there's something constructive. You know, as far as this debating, it's getting old and tired. I don't give a fuck about debating. Fuck it. Let me see. This is rule number 9. Do everything you can to stay out of the system, people. I don't give a fuck what kind of system it is. It could be the penal system. It could be the welfare system. Any system that's designed to keep you down and keep you where you are in life. All right, keep you poor, keep you advancing. Stay out of the system. Okay? Rule number 10, turn off the TV, people. Television is the second most biggest waste of time ever because I've started to notice how repetitive these TV is. It's meant for mind control. It's meant to control your mind. Pick up a book. Try picking up a book every once in a while. Even now, I get excited now after speaking to that brother at the bar some time ago. He's 10 years younger than me. But he got me thinking, wow, man, this guy doesn't have a TV. He even told me I don't have a TV. I read a lot. Brother that reads. So he got me back to reading. Shit. You know, you'll learn a lot more picking up a book than watching TV. Number 11, stop engaging in non-productive activities, such as going to the clubs. And including myself, I go to the bars, spend 3-4 hours at happy hour, 3 or 4 hours watching the Saints game when I could be really doing something productive with my time. You know, going to clubs, watching TV, watching sports, doing something other than picking up a book and reading, going out, or using your time to go out and help the community, go out and deliver food to the elderly, buying children that don't have school supplies, who don't have money to buy school supplies. Go out and buy some school supplies for these kids, tutor these kids so they won't be dumbasses. You know, there's a lot of things you can do in your community if you just get up off your fat ass, including myself. I need to get up off my fat ass and do it. Although I'm not fat, but anyway. Number 12, stay healthy mentally and physically. Hence, reading a book, keeping your mind sharp, keeping your body sharper. Okay, you know, eating well. Stop eating all this junk. I need to stop eating all this junk too. I know I stopped for a little while, but I got back to eating junk, and I need to cut that shit out because it's not healthy. And I need to get back into the gym, lift some weights, take some classes. You know, there's a class I want to do. I want to do Bikram yoga. Bikram yoga. That's hot yoga. That's, you know, you're doing yoga poses in 100 degree heat in the studio, where you just sweat out all these toxins, and it would be good for your arthritis, getting rid of, exercising your muscles and stretching and become more flexible. You know, you're just flushing out all the toxins. And a lot of people have lost about almost 20 pounds doing that shit. So I'm going to go ahead and try it. That's going to be one of my things to do before the New Year. So New Year is over. I'll keep y'all posted. But here's the thing. And also rule number 13, arm yourself, people. We live in an age where we're going to be attacked by white supremacists. And I don't mean arm, but we're also going to be attacked by niggers and dumbass niggers. So, you know, arm yourself, protect your family, protect yourself, you know. You know, God didn't put us on this earth to be sacrificial lambs, okay? You got some evil people out there that have that albinoid gene that wants to hurt you. So go ahead and hurt them back. It's okay to hurt them back. It's okay. You can't reason with people that want to hurt you. Hurt them back. Fuck them up. Well, listen. Oh man, I've been rambling on for about an hour, gang. But I got some things to do. But this has been the most productive podcast that I've done in a while. So if it's an hour, well, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. You know, if it's too long for you to listen to this shit, well, you know what? Fuck you too. Because you don't have to listen to the whole, you don't have to sit down and listen to the whole hour of me just rambling on, giving y'all some information. You just listen to it for 10 minutes and take a break and then go back to it. The fuck is wrong with y'all niggas? Well, anyway, let me get the fuck up out of here. This is Talking Crazy 88, and I am out of here. And black folks, let's look out for each other, all right?